We had MTN out with a trading update today. That stock down 0.75%, 127 Rand, still obviously in play with Bharti Airtel. Your view on what we're seeing out from MTN?
Yeah, evening, Bronwyn. Still thereabouts, 125, 126, 127. The stock is probably going to sit around these levels. We've said this before on your program. It's going to drag on for a while. Your cost to carry, this might be on for 3 or 6 months. So certainly doesn't seem to be exciting at the moment. And if anything, I think the risk might be a little bit to the downside because this might drag along a little bit longer than expected.
Shoprite out with results today. Again, a sterling performance in line with guidance. They are cautious on their outlook going forward, and a key concern for them are the jobs being lost in the country.
Absolutely, and again, benefiting from this buying down scenario that we've seen. I did notice their margins a little bit squeezed, which might be a little bit worrying. They might have been cutting into their margins to get a bit of market share.
They are definitely. Yeah. Their margins down, I think it was from 19.9 to 19.3.
Yeah, so a little bit concerning that they're having to do that to gain market share, but rightly so. They've got a bit of a problem with jobs going forward. We're losing jobs at a huge rate. We are still probably 3/4 of the way through the cycle where certainly globally the rest of the world is sort of heading out of it. So I think a little bit of tough times ahead and probably a cautious warning due.
57 Rand 55, heat caution. Would you take some money off the table where Shoprite is concerned?
I don't think so. I think it still offers value. I think it's still going to benefit. It's certainly hasn't disappointed. Yes, it is a little bit cautious going forward, but and one of those stocks that there was quite a few that were hitting 52-week highs and all-time highs, and Shoprite was one of them, but I still think it offers value and a good dividend play too.
Marion Roberts is out with results tomorrow. We've got Brian Bruce coming into the studio in Business Tonight. Your overview on construction stocks in the country right now. Again, is it a cautious tone?
I think a cautious tone is due, Bronwyn, but also, the perennial underperformer, they've probably, and you'll probably hear tomorrow, they've come through their toughest trading environment I think they've had in many years. You're getting the same rhetoric out of Bell Equipment, the same out of Elliott. Very, very tough times. What we'd like to look for is what is the outlook looking forward? It's certainly Marion Roberts is 70% off its highs. Maybe looking for some positive guidance coming out of the local with 210 next year.
And perhaps visibility needed beyond 2010, even beyond 2011, because that has been the concern that most market commentators have been sharing around construction stocks.
Absolutely. Most CEOs from the banking industry to the miners have all been saying, look, visibility, we can't see 3, we can't see 6 months ahead. And the key point for me with the construction is, are we just relying on this 2010 story? What do you see in 2011, 2012? So I think that's going to be key. So we're going to watch with interest tomorrow.
Impala Platinum also will be out with results later this week. Is that a key one for you?
It is definitely our preferred choice for the platinum sector. I see their workers are talking about downing tools again. Platinum price still stuck around this sort of $1,200 level. Cash for clunkers looking like it's finished overseas. So it's going to take something pretty special, I think, to push it even higher after the good run that it's had. But I still think they're going to warn again. It's going to be a cautious look going forward.
Do you have a view on listed property? We've got Growth Point reporting on Wednesday.
Yeah, the listed property is also interesting. We watch that bond deals and certainly are pricing in something very different to the market right now. And the listed property market is probably offering value. They're still very good high yielding at the moment. They're still giving a lot of money back to shareholders. They seem to be getting their balance sheet in play locally, but still cautious going forward. I think it was Hyperop recently saying that the occupancy rates are still sitting in the mid-70s. So again, of course, I think the theme has certainly been the last few days, cautious approach needed.
Aspen has been a star performer over this period, and we know of their defensive nature in this economic time. But going forward, what are you expecting from Aspen? They are due to report on Friday.
I would also, again, be careful when you're looking for any more upside. It has that a defensive nature. It might benefit if we have this infamous pullback people are talking about going forward. There doesn't seem to be a corporate play there anymore. They've been there and done that already. So I wouldn't expect much more upside from Aspen. But if we do have some sort of retracement in the markets, the likes of the drug companies like Aspen should benefit.
Currently trading 59 Rand today, closing down nearly 1%.
A little bit rich for me up at these levels.
And then Bidvest out with results on Monday, and this is going to be key. Of course, it's the industrial conglomerate. It has some of a defensive nature because of its diversified strategy.
And historically such a good barometer for Sayaka Inc. So also watch with interest on that one. Bidvest tends to surprise a little bit to the upside, and I don't think this next week will be much different. They tend to really batten down the hatches when need be, and I'll be very surprised if they have anything that's too negative news coming out of that. And again, it's such a good barometer for South Africa. So,
do you like the stock?
I do like the stock.
At 109 Rand.
I prefer it at 50 Rand, but at 109 Rand, it's also probably getting a little bit fully priced. But it's traditionally it's such a defensive play with a mix across the board. I'd be surprised if there's anything bad coming out.
And then just very quickly, your view on whether we're going to see this much debated pullback or not. We were speaking extensively yesterday on the desk about Nouriel Roubini saying a double dip recession, beware. Warren Buffett is heeding caution given the fiscal deficit in the US. Where do you stand on the debate?
Jeez, I mean, we talk about all our desks are talking about this at the moment. The market has run extremely hard, and the question is, do these 52-week highs, the S&P is sitting at 1,030 before the levels when Lehman's went down. Certainly, do we justify these levels right now? I would also be a little bit cautious. I mean, interesting enough, today we had some very positive consumer confidence come out. You're probably on air when it came out. But coming out at 52 or 53, expected 47. So a lot of very, very positive news coming out in the last week or two. And the market seemed to be hitting and not going any higher. So I think that's going to be interesting the next week. GDP coming out in the States, watch this space, I think.
So you haven't given me any clarification
as
to
to
where you lie.
I'm very good at it.
You're sounding like an economist, and I've got to get you into the studio more often.